Hey YouTube, I hope everyone is doing well and everything. I'm hoping y'all having a blessed, prosperous day. Today, I just wanted to talk a little bit about, what I've learned in my 53 years of living and the advice that I would kind of give. And the biggest thing to me would be that I am enough. You are enough as well. And the reason I say this, a lot of you have seen some of my videos and some of you haven't, but I suffered with low self esteem for the longest. And, the stinking thinking kind of makes you feel like you're not enough. And I also had outside forces saying I wasn't. When I was younger and everything, I had, some sides of my family embracing my dark skin and everything like that, and they loved it, and then the other side did not embrace it. So I just went through life being self-conscious about things, and most of it stemmed from what other people were telling me, because honestly I don't think I would have thought those things up myself and everything like that. But instead of my stinking thinking mind embracing the good things that people said about me, of course, I took in everything negative that they said. And for some reason, I don't know why, but it seems like the negative is easier to believe than the positive things people say about you. And in turn, it just kind of turned into, okay, low self-esteem, honestly, So I always thought that I was unworthy, that I was never enough in life, that I was never attractive enough to do anything in life, that I was never smart enough. So all those things that people said, I just took them and I internalized them. So now, later in life and everything, I have to do things to work on myself every day, because I honestly believe that's the only way to change. Because I know, you get it. Some people be sitting there like, I've changed, after you haven't seen them in a while and everything like that. If that person has not been working on themselves, like every day, so I'm sitting there talking about some therapy, you know what I'm saying? Maybe searching religion, spirituality. Something has to be where they're working progressively trying to change themselves, because if not, those embedded things that they have, they creep right back in. And that's how I am. I sit there and I have these periods of where I'm down, the low self-esteem creeps back in, the self-sabotage creeps back in, and the feeling of, Danny, you're not worthy of it. You're not worthy of having this. You're not worthy of having that. And it's just a trick of the enemy. I know it, but yet and still, it does feel bad in that moment. So what I do sometimes is I place my hand over my heart and I sit there and I say affirmations, and I am an example of God's life and what he wants in this universe. I am to create for him. I am to love for him, and I am to love myself. So the reason that I do these affirmations, and I say more affirmations than that, but the reason that I do these affirmations, because, the power of life and death is in the tongue. So if I hear my voice and I feel my heart beating, I know that I have purpose. And I'm telling myself these things every day on a daily basis so that I'll know, and I can hear it out loud in my voice, that, hey, I am enough. I matter. Because what it is that, we sit there and, like I said, the stinking thinking, the negative voices in our head are constantly on replay. And if we don't hear something else going on, we're going to kind of succumb to those negative voices and everything. Another thing that I've learned is stop thinking about what everybody is going to say, the fear of judgment. One of my aunts had told me, like, in your 40s, you kind of really just don't give a flip no more, And when she told me that, I was like looking forward to my 40s. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to give a flip. I'm not going to give a flip. It didn't happen that fast. It really didn't. But, and sometimes it happens for different stages. And the only thing that I can chalk it up to is that, hey, I had a lot of little negative stuff going on in my head. But it did come. The feeling that she told me about, you are not going to be worried about what people say no more. You're going to live for, yourself and God. And I was like, oh my goodness, I just can't wait to get to that point, because I know that I was always the people pleaser. I got to do this and I got to do that for somebody to like me. Why? It takes so much energy to do that. And what I loved about it, the reason that I knew it was going to happen, she was one of like my quietest, shyest aunts and everything. So I was like, if she don't care what nobody think about her, I know I'm gonna get to that point. She also told me, like, people who matter in your life, really, they're not gonna mind what you do. When you try new things and everything like that, they are not gonna mind, because they know, hey, she's doing something or he's doing something to improve themselves. They're not gonna mind. But the people who don't matter, they're usually ones who mind. But those are the ones that you can't sit around and you don't want to impress them. It don't matter about them. Only thing it matters really is about what you're doing and what you're doing for God. So you have to sit there and think, hey, I'm not going to be worried about what people say about me and everything like that. And if you don't feel it right away, and sometimes you don't, because some people are born that way. I love that. When I see somebody who really don't give a flip, I'm like, oh my goodness. I kind of love that. I'm like, because that's one of the qualities that I would like to feel all the time. Because, the fear of not being judged and everything, it feels good. It frees you up. You don't want to sit there and just be bound by trying to please everybody else, because you will exert every piece of everything that God gave you trying to impress somebody else and get somebody to like you. Usually, I think too, that's why I am reserved now. I don't really care about what people are like thinking and stuff like that. I'm just kind of like scanning the room and everything like that. And I'm keeping to myself. I'm letting everybody like blah, blah, blah about this and da, 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 da. I used to do that a lot when I was a stage mom. I was very quiet, and a lot of people judged me because I was so quiet. And the reason, like I said, I'm just letting everybody else kind of lay their cards out. And I don't even know how to play cards. But But it's like, I'm just that type of person. I'm not going to sit there. I don't want to be involved in your gossip and everything. It doesn't make me feel good. The people you gossiping about, you barely know them yourself. So I was like, I don't want to be involved in that. And the thing is, if you gossiping about them, as soon as I walk away from the table, you're going to do the same thing to me. Nope, I'd rather sit over here in my little corner, watch what's going on, and not be dealing with that. You don't like me, that's fine. And the only reason you don't like me is because I'm not talking to you and engaging in what you got to say. I don't want to do that. I can't do. In fact, I can't do it. It consumes me so much. It makes me feel bad. Literally, I'm talking about physically. My body feels bad after I have to sit there and listen to somebody complaining all the time, or their gossip session about somebody. It does not make my spirit feel good. So no, I'm not going to worry about what you say about me or your fear of judging me. Like I told y'all before, my name, Danielle, means only God can judge me. And I took on that persona later on in life. It took me a while to do that. But that's the only person that's going to judge me. When I go up to heaven, I can't sit there and vouch for nobody else's sins, and you can't sit there and tell God about me. Only I can do that. So why am I worrying about you? I'm not. I can't do that. And I stopped doing that. Yeah, when God, like I said, when I go up to heaven to those pearly gates, guess what I want him to say? Danielle, well done. He's not going to say Danny. Y'all can say Danny, but he's going to say, Danielle, well done. Because I am not sitting there trying to please everybody else. I'm going to do what he says do. I'm going to serve who I need to serve, because it takes discernment about who you need to serve and who you give your gift to. And also, the last thing is loving on yourself. And I preach this a lot. You guys know it. And the reason I preach it a lot is because I'm actually like preaching to myself as well. It took a lot for me to learn how to love myself. And I have to take those steps every day. because I'm sitting there. God did not make a mistake when he made me. And that, in effect, is a reason to start loving yourself. I know I was talking to my son over the weekend, and he was sitting there like, you guys already know, my son is paranoid schizoaffective, but he was feeling down on himself, and he was like, Mom, I just don't think that I'm a good person, and when I fuss at you, I feel so bad and everything like that. I'm just really this bad, like not negative person, but he was saying other things. I can't curse like that. And I was like, no, you are. No, you're not. You're perfect. And he sat there and he giggles. It is so funny when his laugh, it makes me, it puts joy inside of me when he laughs and he gets it and everything like that. But then I'm like, Brian, everybody has a bad day. And so I was like, you were just having a bad day, and I get it. And with your illness or whatever, sometimes you have bad days. And I'm like, so I'm not going to sit there and get down on you for having a bad day and going off and all that kind of stuff. We all do it. Ain't nobody perfect. And so that made him smile, and it kind of calms him down as well. And it's also like a message for me. We always have bad days. You know what I'm saying? But don't stop loving yourself for it. Don't start kicking yourself in the butt just because, hey, I didn't do well this day, or I didn't perform well this day. Continue to love on yourself. But thank you guys so much for listening to me. I really appreciate you guys. I'll talk to you on the next time. Bye-bye.